3-0.
3-0. Go Birds.
Go Birds. Go Birds. Welcome to Cheap Seats and Cheesesteaks. I am Jay Sensi, joined by the man himself, Tyler Calvey. And, man, I don't know if the NFL is scripted, but if it is, I like the script thus far.
So far, so good.
You know, it's making me a little nervous each week, but 3-0 is 3-0, and here we are. Birds are undefeated.
Yeah. In the most improbable way possible.
Yeah. But you know what? Would we have it any other way?
No, I loved it.
This is how it goes.
The tale of two halves, for sure, was the game yesterday.
Let's unpack it.
Yep.
You know what? I'm just going to come out and say it, though. I don't think Kevin Patullo was calling plays in the second half.
I don't know if that was the case as much as the unsung hero, Fred Johnson, coming in the game.
He was definitely a difference maker, yeah.
Because having, our winning percentage without Lane Johnson is so skewed. Like it's,
I actually have
win to loss with Lane Johnson, and the starting position for most of that first half was inside our own 15, inside our own 10, and they were blitzing that side of the line. Not only do you not have Lane Johnson, but Tyler Steen, who probably the weakest link on that offensive line, if there was one, is Tyler Steen. So your whole right side of your offensive line is, the weaker of the two, and they were bringing pressure. And this is what I talk about often about the situational football. And sometimes the offense can't do what it wants to do when you're starting inside your own 15 all the time.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. I think, Matt Pryor definitely was not the guy out there. Fred Johnson was a big difference maker when he came. I just felt like, I don't know, and they're probably not going to say it, but if I had a bet, if there was a line on it, I don't think Patullo was calling the plays.
Maybe. I
think it's going to come out. It's going to come out in about 6 or 7 weeks, and I'm glad we're recording.
Yeah.
That's where I'm putting the money.
Well, we'll see. I don't know. I don't think Nick would pull play calling duties from him, because if he didn't do it to Brian Johnson, then the story behind that was Brian Johnson really wasn't calling the plays. It was Nick the whole time. So if the offense, my take is that maybe Nick's been calling the offense the whole time, and Patullo actually got to call some plays. Could be
fair. Somebody different was calling plays from the first half to the second half. Maybe Jalen was calling plays.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Jalen went over to him and they had a little heated exchange. I think it might have come down to like, listen, we need to, I'm going to start taking some shots. I'm going to start forcing it to AJ, and we're going to see what we can do here.
See if we could spice this up a little bit.
And here's the thing. One thing I do want to say, I'm going to give the Giants some grace. Saquon Barkley thus far this year is not, this isn't who he is, but this is what he is when your entire defense is keying on one particular person.
Yep.
And all the Giants hate and all the front office. If Saquon played for the Giants today, he would look worse than what he's looked so far this year, because that is the emphasis of stopping him. And that comes with the territory of being a great player. But, he's underachieved for his standards of last year, but I feel like this is more of who he is, when all eyes are on 26.
Yeah, but if all eyes are on 26, you got to think that the passing game opens up, right? The first half, guys still weren't getting open.
No, that's for sure. But that's where it comes down to we talked about last week with the creativity in the pass game and stuff like that. I
do have the stat, though, the with and without Lane. So with Lane Johnson, the Eagles historically are 105, 55, and 1. That's a winning percentage of 65.5%. Without Lane, record of 15 and 23. That's just under 40%. So big difference. Fred Johnson did come in, stepped up, turned things around a bit from an offensive standpoint. I think Jalen had a lot more time, so glad we brought him back.
Big time.
I do have a lot of other interesting stats that I want to talk about.
Okay.
So maybe we'll start a Sensi's stats segment of each episode.
I like it.
All right. So I got quite a few of them. Yesterday was the first time the Eagles have blocked 2 field goals in a game since 1975. Quite a while.
I believe that.
The first team in 47 years to block 2 field goals in the fourth quarter.
Whoa.
All right. Largest comeback ever at the Link. Sirianni is the first Eagles head coach to go 3-0 3 times, which is kind of wild to think about it because this is his, 5th year?
Yeah.
Is he year 5?
Yeah.
I mean, 5 or 3 out of 5 years. I mean, the number of years Andy was there with McNabb. First Eagles coach to do it. Birds are a franchise best 19-1 over the last 20 games, including the postseason, of course, which is the best Eagles 20-game stretch in franchise history. Good time to be a Birds fan. Birds have won 17 straight when Jalen has started and finished the game.
Mm-hmm.
This was a good Jordan Davis one. Jordan Davis, 336 pounds, heaviest player in NFL history to return a blocked kick for more than 50 yards for a touchdown. And he also reached a top speed of almost 19 miles an hour on the return. That's the fastest speed for a player that's greater than 330 pounds since at least 2017, which that's a ridiculous stat because I feel like they just start smashing, little bits and pieces together to try to make a stat like that. But, and then the last thing I have there is Matt Pryor is not good. That's not
that's not a stat, but
not a stat.
That's legit.
Factually accurate.
Yeah, that's an eyeball assessment for sure. With that said, game ball for sure goes Jordan Davis.
Yes.
I thought that third down chase down of Stafford was huge. Yes. And then that fourth down stuff, huge. Besides the block field goal stuff.
Yep.
Right? He played. My thing now, do the Eagles have a serious dilemma if this trend continues of Jordan Davis playing so well, Jalen Carter playing well, but again, another 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty could have cost us, constantly putting us in situations where we have to dig ourselves out because of his attitude and his lack of discipline. I love Jalen Carter. I think he is he could be a generational talent, but this year he doesn't look that great. Vic says he's overweight. He looks slower. He looks more tired. Where you get Jordan Davis, who's worked himself into this position. At the end of the year, if you got to pay one guy, and here's the thing about Jordan Davis, he's not going to garner as much money. He doesn't have that type of. So do you take an attitude guy who is a good disciplined player who has worked himself into the player he is, or do you take the natural talent who seems to be undisciplined and could be lazy? That was the big thing about Jalen Carter coming out as well. Not only just with the whole off the field issues, they were saying he showed up to workouts, he was overweight, he seemed to lack discipline, poor attitude, and man, I love him. But let's just go down a few things that I can just recall off the top of my head. That Steelers play, he palmed some guy in the face. The punt was caught by our returning team, so it didn't result in a first down for the Steelers, but it could have. Could have ruined the game for us. This one wasn't a purposeful one, but him face palming Patrick Mahomes, they didn't call it, but that could have been called. He takes a strip sack off of the board. Thank God it didn't. And that's the thing about it. It hasn't affected us. Spitting on Dak Prescott, we win that game. What happens if we lose that game? They run all over us in that game. They established the run. We couldn't get pressure on Dak Prescott. That was a direct result of him not being there. And then yesterday, we block a punt or we block a field goal. We put ourselves in a position to, win this game. And now it's 15 yards. We're backed up inside our own 10, and we got to dig ourselves out of that. And 3rd and 10, we get a first down with A.J. Brown. But man, that could have turned the game completely around. When you have to call plays from inside your 10, situational football, it's very, very difficult to open up your whole playbook because of all the things that could go wrong. And he just constantly is putting us, he's just not, We need the team guys. We have so many good team guys, team first guys. And at times he lacks that.
Yep.
And I feel like he's a me guy. And I don't know, as much as I love the edge, he plays on the edge. Too many times he's just putting us in situations where he could cost us. It hasn't cost us. That's the thing. That's why no one's talking about this.
Yep.
Because it hasn't costed us. But we lose to the
At some
Cowboys.
point,
We
it's
lose to
gonna
the
cost
Cowboys
us.
week 1, and we lose to the Rams because we're backed up inside our own 10.
Yep.
Now we have a real discussion to have. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you do with that. He's too talented to be like this.
He's got to keep his mouth shut, man. I mean, I don't know who's going to do it. I don't know if it's going to be a old man Vic talking to him or a Sirianni thing or a Howie thing. But, I mean, he's got to keep his mouth shut because at some point it's going to bite us. We've gotten lucky in those 2 instances this season alone, and we're 3 games in and we've got 2 incidents, right? He's got to keep his mouth shut. I mean, who do you pay? I think that's a good problem to have, right? I think you got 2 guys. Jordan Davis is coming into his own a little bit slowly, but I mean, not really different than a Brandon Graham situation, right? Slow start, found his place, found his own, and started to contribute at a high level. So, I mean, Jordan Davis might be on a path like that, but you end up in a situation where you got 2 really good guys. Jordan's a year ahead, right? So would he command as big of a price tag as Jalen Carter? Probably not. But maybe this is a good thing for Jalen Carter to see, right? Maybe he sees that, shit, I've got some competition here for money, not necessarily for position, but if the Eagles have to decide who to pay and it comes down to the attitude, then Jordan Davis is going to win that particular battle with everything else being equal, right? So maybe this, Jordan Davis coming into his own, contributing, being the hero, and also starting to just be more consistent, shed the weight, is playing more consistent. He's impacting a lot of plays. Maybe it's a wake-up call for Jalen Carter to say, man, maybe I need to get my shit together. Maybe I got to drop a couple pounds, and I want that money. And then we have a tougher decision to make. But right now, I think I'd rather have this decision on who to pay than have nobody to pay. But Howie's smart. I'm sure he's going to figure it out. I don't think there's a situation where we lose one of them in the next 2 years, say. But I mean, I think prior to this season, I would have said that Jordan Davis was probably trade capital for something at some point. But I don't know that I feel that way now.
No. I mean, the way he's played thus far this year, I think he's earned his spot. And yeah, I mean, even I thought the second half of last year, he really started to come into his own. I thought, he looked a little leaner, a little faster, building. But this year so far, I mean, he's the player that when we drafted him, we thought he was going to be.
Yep.
But that chase down a Stafford, I mean, that was crucial, so big. Another thing, concern about the Eagles, lack of sacks. We're getting pressure, but we just not getting the quarterback on the ground, which is not a bad thing. I mean, if you're getting to the spot, it's just finishing, which I feel like we're going to figure that out. I feel like things are going to, we'll work towards a better direction. Hopefully Jalen Carter is working himself because he didn't play much at all in the preseason or practice much in the preseason.
True.
So he could be a little out of shape, working his way back into football shape. So we'll see in this next couple weeks, and especially the back end of this year, of where he's at. But yeah, man, Jordan Davis is really giving us something to think about, because you got to pay Jordan Davis this year.
Yep.
You don't have to pay Jalen Carter this year. You
Right.
don't have to, but normally you will.
Yep.
With a guy with his talent, you pay him a year early.
Yeah, the way Howie does it, for sure. Yeah.
But, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, Jordan Davis is giving us a lot to think about. And the attitude, Jordan Davis' attitude, amazing. Just that happy
like a
guy.
big, jolly guy.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's a guy that, what you would possibly lose in a Jalen Carter, you gain in so much more, like you said, about the Brandon Graham. Great example. just a great locker room guy, great teammate guy, great influence on the younger guys coming in, willing to work, willing to, leadership.
He's got a very like a Fletcher Cox attitude.
Yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
You know, like it maybe like a Fletcher Cox, Brandon Graham, somewhere in the gray area between them. He's maybe a little bit more serious than a Brandon Graham, but a little bit more jolly than a Fletcher Cox.
Fletcher was a little mean.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh man. Fletcher Cox.
But
nobody talks about Fletcher
Jalen
Cox.
Carter mean.
No, not Jalen Carter mean. He's mean.
We got a spectrum of meanness.
He's
on that
mean,
line.
and I loved it. But
man,
he's on the edge. He plays on the edge of like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna wreck the game for them, or is he gonna wreck the game for us?
Yep.
And at this point, man, you have to really start assessing this stuff. Moving forward, we got to get rid of those penalties because the league is just lame. The no fun league is in full
There's
effect.
no tolerance anymore.
I'm an Eagles fan, but that Puka Nacua flex penalty, that's nonsense. Stop that. Especially you have to assess the guy too. Puka's not the guy. He wasn't trying. You, as a ref, you need to, like in basketball games and other stuff, like you come up to the guy and say, hey, man, listen, don't do that again. I'm going to throw a flag for sure.
Yep.
Don't flex in people's faces. And then Puka goes, hey, oh, my bad. Sorry, I wasn't doing it to him, but thank you, ref. Won't happen again.
Yeah.
But to throw that flag in that moment, it's just weird and so like subjective. It's just, it's a weird rule that they're trying to put into play. Like I said, it's just the no fun leagues. Just it's on a whole nother level.
Nah, it's getting worse. I don't know. Maybe it was a give back for that missed push off. They play that game too, even though they say they don't.
Yeah, but that one, I don't know. That didn't get us 7 points back, and
no,
like I said, call it on someone else, but not Puka. I think. And another thing, Puka Nacua had 12 catches yesterday, something like that.
He's good.
It felt like 30.
I know.
It felt like 30.
Always catching the ball.
But with that said, he didn't catch a ton of balls on our cornerbacks.
Okay.
It was a lot of mismatch inside catches on safeties and linebackers. A few assessments of the game. Defensively, Zach Bond, dog.
Yep.
Dog.
Yep.
I didn't even want to like really talk about him all that much because I'm a linebacker lover, and I don't want to like put too much on him. And it was only 1 year of success, but man, the guy's he's a playmaker.
Yes,
all around the ball, always around the ball. He just makes plays, and he's such a good dude. He attitude guy.
Yes,
great attitude.
Yep.
And Vic Fangio, great assessment of talent and what guys can do in certain positions. And putting him as a perennial special teamer, pass rusher to a stud sideline to sideline middle linebacker type.
Yep.
Fucking awesome.
I love Zach Bond.
Love Zach Bond.
But
love him.
While we're talking about linebackers, though, what happens with Nakobe when he comes back? He's coming into a tight spot.
Yeah. No,
he was good. He played
amazing
ass off last year.
Yeah, he allowed Zach Bond to fit that role and build into that real middle linebacker sideline to sideline role because Nakobe Dean did a lot of the dirty work.
Yep.
And listen, man, that is not a bad problem to have.
No.
That linebacker room for years was empty, and now it is full of talent. Even Jeremiah Trotter Jr., special teams wise, always in on special team stuff. I think if he ever does have to play an extended period of time, I think he'll do very well. I love it, man. I love the linebacker situation in Philly. And for years it was abysmal, man. I can't even think of the last like true middle linebacker that we had. It's been a long time.
Yeah, maybe like D'Amico.
Yeah. That was what?
That was late 2000s?
Yeah. 2010?
Maybe.
Yeah. And D'Amico Ryan was he was kind of at the tail end of his career at that point.
Correct.
He already established himself everywhere else. But yeah, man, I can't think of the last like true middle linebacker talent, especially like homegrown type talent. I mean, Zach Bond's a trade for, but he wasn't that guy anywhere else. No. So, we'll claim him as our own.
Yep.
So But yeah, man, it's pretty impressive what Vic Fangio's done, and just overall game ball goes to the defensive side of the ball. I think they holding to so many field goals allowed us to stay in the game, and it was beautiful. It's just situational football. They allowed us to still have a fighting chance, as bad as it was in that first half.
And really, this is 3 weeks in a row now that we give up some points early and then we figure it out, right? We tighten up. And, somebody asked Vic Fangio about halftime adjustments. He's like, there's no such thing as halftime adjustments. He goes, it takes 3 minutes to walk in. It takes 3 minutes to walk out. There's no time for adjustments. You adjust as you need. And I think he finds a good way to just tighten up the ship to whatever they're doing. He finds a way to stop it. And we've been shutting teams down. Not necessarily always second half, but it almost seems like a halftime adjustment by the time it starts to start impacting the game, and that's what allowed us to come back into that game.
Yeah, well, I think too, it goes like this. A guy like Sean McVay, there's the scripted 10 or 15 plays that you come out with, your game plan to kick the game off, and there's not many better coaches than him to do that, and so you have to weather that storm, and we've done that with games this year. Dallas came out hot, and I think he teaches them extremely well. Vaughn and the back end guys are smart. Reed Blankenship's smart. Quignon's smart. I think as the game goes on, they start to see, read, react, and understand.
Yep.
And then they start taking things away. They say, okay, this is what they're going for. This is what they're looking for. But early on, I mean, man, the Rams are talented. They are a tough team.
They got a good team.
Fast, young, ferocious defense, and just offensive talent out the ass. So 2 good running backs, 2 good receivers. Puka Nacua might be the best receiver in football right now. I mean,
he's so good.
They love
he's so good.
I mean, people love the Jay Jettas and the Jamar Chase. Like they're just like freaks. Like Puka's fat, but dude, that catch on that 3rd and 7 where his Stafford's arm gets hit. It fucking the ball's like the duckiest duck ever. He picks it up off his shoelaces barely. Man, he's so good.
I know, he's so good.
He's so good. That whole C gap, this might be a little deep dive, but that whole C gap release he does is fucking, I've never seen that before with a receiver. Like he goes in motion and he'll exit out of the C gap instead of outside the tight end. He comes inside the tight end. He releases like almost like a power play.
He's like hidden.
Yeah, and he pops out, and then linebackers are like, oh shit, but the only way that works is if you're a good blocker and he does a good job. They do that with the blocking. I've seen it done with tight ends, but I've never seen like a number 1 type receiver, C gap release, and that caused such problems, man. That is a whole problem. Now you get lost in the wash. It's not run.
Right.
Now locate your guy, and now you got linebackers lined up on Puka Nacua.
Yep.
Genius.
Ain't good for us.
Genius.
But
the Eagles need to start taking, like, if I was a coordinator, I would just start like
stealing plays.
Steal all the plays.
They all steal plays.
But even
steal some of those plays.
But even concepts, because like we're struggling to get AJ the ball. Even though thank God we got him involved this week, and he played how he always does. He's amazing. But get creative with him, man. Put him in certain situations and let him, the Cowboys got a little too creative. I'm always a big fan of like what they do with CeeDee Lamb. Line up in the backfield and this, that, and another. They handed the ball off to CeeDee Lamb in a run play and he got his ankle rolled. Yeah. But I like that idea of how do I get receivers involved and ball in their hands. That's the thing about certain receivers. You just need to get them involved. Just let them touch the ball. They don't have to be explosive plays. Screens, stuff like that. Just let them touch the ball just so they look up at the scoreboard and they see 1 or 2 catches. Because they get in their own head. Like if they're 0, now they're pressing, they're trying to do too much. Same thing with the quarterback. You want to get them easy completions early so they're on this, I'm 4 for 5. They don't say, I'm 4 for 5 for 10 yards. It doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm 4 for 5. And that gets the momentum going, gets you comfortable, allows you to settle into the game, into that middle late round where early in the game you want guys to get comfortable. And that's the one thing about the Eagles. Sometimes the offense, especially this year, they just don't do a good job at like getting guys involved early.
Yep. And I mean, I think a guy like AJ too, he's so big and strong. On a screen, he can move some guys around. Look what he does yards after the catch, right? He pushes guys down, he pushes them around, he rolls around them, he spins. I mean, the guy can move for his size.
Jet sweep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would love that.
Like even from the shotgun where they do the shotgun and they do a little shovel ahead, you know, and like I get it. Sometimes you don't want to run the jet sweeps because wide receivers aren't so great at taking the handoff. They prefer to catch, but that's why that little shuffle pass kind of jet sweep version works really well, because if he drops it, it's an incomplete pass, no big deal.
Right.
But you get him with the ball in his hands, out on the edges, you know, let him work. He picks up 4 or 5 yards, but on the scoreboard, you look up one catch. And it gets him involved, lets him touch the ball, lets him feel the game. And to me, that's always a big part of it. You know, if I was a coordinator, right? Like just get him involved early. So because you know, the receiver, it's hard position because you're so relying on everybody else. The line's got to block. You know, your quarterback's got to find you. You could be open all day, which he is. AO, always open, right? Which the nicknames, thank God they didn't stick. He was trying so hard in the offseason for those nicknames. But
no, they did it yesterday.
They did AO?
Yeah, they did AO, and then he commented on it after the game, and he's like, we got to work on the synchronization. I gotta be. I don't think that's it. That's
I think
not
AJ.
Yeah.
AJ. I think that works just as good. But
AO is not the chant in the stadium.
But we digress. Get him involved a little bit early. Get him some easy catches. Allow him to feel incorporated in the game, because if you go, it's hard to just not touch the ball for 3 quarters. And then, you know, it takes a special type of player to be able to do that and stay involved in the game. And even him, he got a penalty, you know, which I thought was a little ticky-tack, but he got a penalty for frustration. He was a little frustrated. He was blocking downfield, and he started barking at the guy and pushing him and stuff like that. So, but, you know, they say he's a problem in the locker room and stuff, or the media, not the players. But a great way to like keep him happy and satisfied is just get him touches. Get him touches early. Yeah.
I'm with it. We got to keep this rolling offensively. You know, I think maybe the last thing I'll say about yesterday's game is this is going to be one of those games where like you remember where you were when you watched it, right? It had a very Miracle at the Meadowlands feel to it. Like you mentioned that game with Deshaun Jackson. I knew exactly where I was. I could put myself back in that same exact spot immediately. And yesterday I think is going to go down as one of those games. And if we make another deep run, this could be a game that is why. I mean, a conference opponent, probably a playoff team.
Arguably the best team in the NFC. I mean, if you want to take the Eagles out of it. If you were looking for who the best team in the NFC is, ever since we beat them, and then we beat the Chiefs, and they said, well, and the Commanders, but beat the Chiefs, they said, wow, man, if the Rams beat the Eagles, they probably would have won a Super Bowl. That was a lot of the media talked about. So you're telling me that they're the second best team last year, and they only got better, I think, with the, Devontae Adams. You had a guy like that to a roster, big time. So yeah, I mean, for us to beat them, and just heart. The biggest thing about that game, I just love the heart. And here's not the last thing. We got to talk about this. Jalen Hurts, man, just I don't know if he's 15, if he's 5, if he's 2, if he's 10 ranking. I don't give a fuck. I am so glad he's my quarterback. I love his maturity. I love his situational football, and I love the fact he always thinks we got a chance. He's just one of those psychopaths where we could be down by 100, and he's just like, we're good. Give me the ball. You know what I mean? Like, I love it. I thought, -1 yards passing in the first half. They handcuffed him a little bit.
A lot of quarterbacks pack it in at that point.
But -1 yard with how many interceptions?
0.
Big time. That's something that
0.
When the 2023 Jalen Hurts, who was like, we're 10-1, he's standing there against the Bills in the rain and possibly an MVP candidate, doing everything, playing hero ball.
Yep.
The biggest takeaway from that year was too many turnovers.
Yep.
He was pushing, he was pressing too much. Last year's biggest concern was he's holding the ball too long.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's addressed both of those issues.
Yep.
He's not willing to put us in bad positions. He's getting rid of the ball, not turning the ball over, even though he got strip sacked yesterday.
Yep.
But with all that, I think his maturity as a leader, as just the rock, the bedrock of this team, it's amazing. I like I said, I don't know talent wise, like arm talent stuff. Like I watched Caleb Williams yesterday. We were watching him. That arm talent, like he falling backwards, sling it, great. But can you lead men into battle? And I think Jalen Hurts, we talked about that in a previous episode, his ability to just, whatever you need me to do, coach.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to not throw the ball 100 times. Cool. I need you to throw the ball 30 times. Cool. I need you to run the ball today. Cool. I need you to throw the ball today. Cool. I need you to hand the ball off 25, 30 times today. Cool. The only question he asks in return, will we win?
Yep.
Yes. Cool.
Okay.
Done. Yes, sir, coach.
No smile.
No smile, even when we won.
Stone cold face.
Love it.
No smile. I mean, other than what'd you call him? Perk Hurts?
Oh yeah, Perk Hurts.
Yeah.
When he's all perked out after the divisional round.
Yeah, when he's
giggling and
up,
shit.
he's happy.
Yeah. I never seen him like that. I never see. They get, because he got hurt his knee in that game. Yeah. They definitely gave him a little Toradol or something, because he was a little giggly at the end of that in the interview. You never see that. He was
once in a while a good Perk Hurts.
Yeah.
Just he's I think we need to know he's human every once in a while.
Yeah. But he said he used to be like that 2022, he was smiling a lot and stuff like that. But the great quote he said, he's like, after that loss, man, that changed my soul.
Yep.
And I love that for my quarterback, because in the end, you're only judged on your wins.
Mm-hmm.
Stats are for losers to me. There's so many great quarterbacks who threw for so many yards. But if you don't win consistently in this league, it does not matter.
Right.
Dan Marino is the greatest thrower of the football that's ever been. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, nobody mentions him in the greatest quarterback talks anymore.
No.
There's so many other guys ahead of him. All they count is your rings. So I think he's aware of that. And I love that that's his biggest stat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so many quarterbacks in the past, he threw for 5,000 yards, and they went 8 wins.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow. People love Joe Burrow. Throws for 4,000 yards and a bad year.
Daniel Jones is leading the league right now.
Yeah.
In passing yards, I think.
Yeah. And wins, though.
Well, yeah, they're under. Yeah, true.
That's something. That's something with the Giants, though. You got to start questioning.
Yeah.
Like, how is he succeeding? Shane Steichen, though.
He's our guy. That was our guy.
That was a big loss for us.
Yeah.
Also, too, with the offense, let's go back to Patul. This is yet again another year where Jalen Hurts is learning the offense, and I'm trying to give them a little more grace. Even though it's frustrating, that first half was extremely frustrating. A lot of people are putting on Jalen Hurts. The guy's learning on yet another system.
Yep.
For the every single year he's been in the league, new offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Every single year.
I mean, I'm not calling for the job yet, but I just don't think he was calling plays in that second half.
Yeah.
That's just,
But we'll see. Like, listen.
Dig my heels in on that.
Listen, as much as I loved Kellen Moore and I thought he was a great offensive coordinator, at this juncture last year, we weren't saying that Kellen Moore was a great offensive coordinator.
No, but I don't think anybody was calling for his head yet either. Were they?
Well, at this point, we were 2-1.
2-1. Yeah.
By barely beating the Saints.
Yeah.
Losing to the Falcons. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see. This offense has to gel. Saquon has to get his mojo going. Mm-hmm. It's tough though. They are doing everything. The only thing I don't like about Saquon right now that I'll say, he looks like a home run hitter. He's looking for the home run.
Yep.
Where last year he was just pick up 5 yards every play.
Right.
And then the home runs happen. But that's where you can't search for the home run hit. You just got to keep hitting.
Mm-hmm.
And with him, every play he gets the ball, he's in the hole, like he's like looking for the big pop.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm just like, bro, just get 4, get 5, get 4, get 3, get 4, get 5. You know, but we'll see. I mean, the offensive line isn't looked that great thus far. Tyler Steen is, you know, coming into his own, first-year starter. Losing Lane Johnson hurts, but even in the previous weeks, I just feel like he's just looking too much for the big play, and you can't do that as a running back. You just got to get what you can get.
He'll tighten it up. It's going to be a long season. Which brings us to the Bucs.
Oh wait, one last thing.
Go ahead.
What was my prediction for the score?
I think you predicted 34-27, and we won 33-26. So pretty damn close, buddy. Nicely done.
Let's go.
Nicely done.
I did not predict that.
No. But you know what? It doesn't matter how you get there, does it?
It's true.
Right?
No,
it doesn't matter how you get there at this point. The Bucs in September, 1 o'clock again. I did, you know, if we're talking about stats, I did pull up some stats as it relates to the Bucs. And so we did beat the Bucs in Tampa 2 seasons ago, but it was a night game. All right. The last time we won in Tampa Bay during the day was an October afternoon game in 2013. It seems like every time we go to Tampa, and it seems like we go to Tampa more than we play the Bucs in Philly, it's early in the season where it's hot as balls at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And I don't know that the Bucs as a team really worry me, but situationally in Florida in September at 1 o'clock, that's, I think, the factor that I'm most worried about, because I think we just get gassed. If you look back at all those games that we play at 1 o'clock in the heat, it's 92, 95 degrees. The guys are gassed, and, you know, the Bucs are a little bit more used to it. But on paper, we win that game. I don't want to say handily, but I would probably be more confident on paper that we beat the Bucs than we beat the Rams.
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah. But coming back with the Jalen Hurts dog factor, where he just wants to win, Baker Mayfield has a little bit of that.
He does.
He's got like that, like, I'll do anything we need to do. I'll crawl on my belly through broken glass just to get a W.
Yep.
And that's infectious, man. That brings a culture to a team where your quarterback is the tough, you know, willing to take hits, willing to put his nose in there for an extra yard. Like that permeates throughout the whole team. You know, flip side, if you paint your fingernails and, you know, wear, you know, women's clothes, sometimes that'll work against you when you're trying to lead grown men into battle. But we'll see how that works out for you. But yeah, for sure, I think the 1 o'clock in Florida, humidity, heat, that's always a factor. Home field advantage that's a real thing down there. That's a tough place to play. They look good. They're 3-0. They've looked good thus far this year as far as efficiency in their offense. Their defense looks good. And, yeah, they match up with us well as far as, like, historically. We always battle with them. Yeah, we're going to see. This is going to be a tough one. We need to exercise these demons. We go 4-0. We start 4-0 and beat the Bucs. We're really going to see something. We're really going to see how good this team is.
Yep.
But with that said, if we lose and then we come back, I think we come back to the Giants after that, right?
I think, yeah.
Home against the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate a 3-1 start with the Giants on the back end of that, possibly a 4-1 start. If we're going to drop a game, this one I don't hate to drop as long as it's competitive and we look and the offense kind of moves the ball a little bit.
Yep.
I can deal with the loss here. But, you know, fucks my whole 17-0 prediction up.
So far, so good, though.
Listen.
But they might be without some receivers, too, though. I think I read today Mike Evans has a hamstring. And I don't know if, I think that's something that has, lingered with him for years. I think he's had a couple hamstrings over the years. They're saying he might not play.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's only Monday now. I mean, a lot of stuff will change before then and now.
As long as we get Lane back.
Yeah, Lane back.
Lane should be fine.
Yeah, Lane getting hurt on the tush push, not looking good for moving forward with player safety. But he wasn't injured. I mean, I think it was more of a hurt tweak where they just were like, we're gonna see what we can do without, So the thing with the neck too. You strain your neck. Sometimes it's just you just can't play. You can't play right tackle like that, But yeah, this Bucs game, this is going to be a very telling. This is going to see how good this team is and where we're headed. The Rams was a big one, but a lot of fluky stuff happened for us to get that win. I love that we kept fighting, but there was a lot of things that kind of fell into place. 2 blocked field goals, like you said, with the stats, not very common.
No.
99% of the time they kick that field goal, we lose by 2.
Yes.
And we say, we fought hard, but we lost.
Yep.
But yeah, this Bucs game is going to tell a lot, especially offensively. We got to get the offense rolling consistently too. I mean, we don't have to put up 40 points, but we got to start the game consistently, get Saquon running with a little more purpose, get AJ involved a little earlier.
Yep.
Just a little more, consistency in the offense. We can't have halves. Like flip side was the Dallas game. We looked great in the first half with the offense.
Yep.
Scored 3 straight touchdowns, nothing for the rest of the game.
Yep.
The Chiefs game was we went 2 quarters with nothing. It was a lot of punting and a lot of, nothing going on. And but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm excited. I love me some Tampa. I love to play Tampa. This has been going back ever since we would meet them every single year in the wild card.
Yep.
So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. You got a prediction?
I do. I am going to go 27-16 Birds.
Ooh.
I think we figure it out. I think we figured it out offensively. I think defense, of course, dominates the majority of the game, probably the back half or hopefully 3/4 of the game. I'm going 27-16 Birds.
Okay.
We deserve a win that's not a down to the wire. And we deserve it against the Bucs. All right, this is going to happen.
This guy. That's going to happen. Never. If we're watching the game, it's coming down to the wire. So, with that said, I don't know.
Let's hear it.
34-31.
Oof.
34-31. We Jake Elliott kicks a field goal.
Second field goal?
No, but I think he
late in the game
kicks it, takes the lead, and then the defense makes a stop. Yeah.
All right.
Or Jordan Davis blocks another field goal.
Could you imagine?
That'd be great.
I'd have another good stat.
Yeah.
I'd have to figure out the stat for that one.
Yeah, that'd be great. But tush push still rocking.
Still going.
Love it.
I'll tell you what, I have one tangent that has nothing to do with the Eagles, but I have a grape. I never really liked Chris Collinsworth, but I got a grape I just got to air. So I don't know if you watch much of the Kansas City Giants game. There was a play, all right, Patrick Mahomes throws a backwards pass and he just whiffs on Pacheco. All right, Pacheco turned around late. Mahomes throws it over his right shoulder. It's a fumble. 2 Giants guys, like monkeys fucking the football. Instead of just falling on it, they try to pick it up and run it. They don't get it, and Mahomes finally makes his way over and gets on the football. Instead of chastising Mahomes for making a bonehead throw when the guy's not even turned around, Collinsworth applauds him for being there for the ball on a play that he fucked up himself initially. So instead of saying literally anything negative about Mahomes, he's so far up his fucking ass that he applauds him for picking up a fumble that the fucking guy caused.
Oh yeah,
and I'm done with Collinsworth.
He's the worst. That I mean is
did
bad.
You see that?
No, I did, but it was. I mean, hats off to Mahomes. That was a hustle play. I'll give him that to a degree. The thing that drives me nuts about Collinsworth is when, like, he'll say about it, like, Josh Allen will be playing. He'll be like, wow, that was very Mahomey. Like the Mahomey.
Yeah.
Like, where you're referring to other quarterbacks in referencing, like, as an adjective to describe their play. Like, dude, stop with the Mahomes stuff. And here's the thing. I like Mahomes. I think Mahomes is a great quarterback. I think he has a lot of, like, tools and intangibles that make him a great leader and a great quarterback. But it makes it so hard to like him because you just the insist on him. And Collinsworth is the leader of the fan club. And just stop, dude. It is embarrassing.
I couldn't just I mean I could believe it, but it was just cringy, man.
Yeah.
Stop.
Another thing about that game is Scattaboo not just the greatest name to say.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I like him.
I like him too. Like I said early prediction when they drafted him. Like I said, I don't know if he's gonna be like a perennial all-star, all-pro type player, but to me, like, I could just, like, my heart and soul fluttered when they drafted him because I'm just like, that motherfucker's gonna put up a game against us that we'll be talking about 5 years from now. Like, dude, remember when fucking that Scattaboo game? like kind of like a Boston Scott versus the Giants. You're just like this guy out of nowhere, like. Not a highly touted player, just comes in and just fucks your day up because he just has one of those games. Like, I hope it's against the Cowboys or somebody like that. Right. You know, that's the Scattaboo game. But for some reason, when they drafted him, I was like, I'm like, I don't know if he's going to be a superstar, but I could see him fucking our day up at least once in his career where we're going to go back and be like, dude, remember Scattaboo? What the fuck?
I did read a great funny take that referenced him though, and then this guy posted, and I wish I could find it so I can credit the guy, but he said there's two types of white running backs. There are cerebral thinkers like Christian McCaffrey, and then he said, and then there are crayon eaters like Scattaboo that just run into walls.
He is for sure a crayon eater. Like, they even said that. What they said, his quote was, "He was born 20 years too late." He's like, I just wish I was born back when all you did was hand the ball off and run straight into people all the time.
Yep.
Yeah, he's got that type of mentality. But guys like that, man, they're not common in the NFL anymore. So some defenses don't know how to handle guys like that.
That's true.
Just like a guy running through your face the whole game and not giving a fuck. And then, like you said, like you go and, like, you hit him good once and he gets up and he's like, and dogs back to the huddle. You're just like, whoa. You're like, that guy didn't even feel that.
No.
That didn't even register in his head.
No.
Like the Gronk. Like, Gronk was like that.
Yes. Yep.
Like,
he's very Gronky.
Like, if Gronk was around today, that would be a whole problem because all these tight ends are finesse. I mean, even back, I guess, when he was coming up, it was a lot of finesse. What was the kid from the Saints? Jimmy Graham. Yeah. Guys like that, they were like glorified basketball players catching balls. You know, even Travis Kelce, very, like, even though he could play physical, but he's very finesse. Where, like, Gronk, just like, he'd be catching it, and the my favorite thing is where they're saying, like, he'd be running down the field and you'd hear him laughing. just looking for contact. Like, there's nobody, like, he's running straight to the end zone. He wants to slow down just so he could hit somebody.
Sick.
How about that as a stat? I think, like, Travis Kelce and Gronk are the same age.
That's wild.
That's crazy, right?
I did read that a couple weeks back. That is wild.
Like, I remember, like, 3 years ago, I read that, and I was like, what? I'm like, Gronk's been retired and unretired, and Travis Kelce's still playing. So, respect to Travis Swift about his longevity, but, I'll take Gronk any day. Gronk was a whole problem.
I got one more.
I'll take a crayon eater all day.
I like the crayon eater.
Hell yeah.
All right, I got one other thing that's gonna it's a tangent that it's gonna boil your blood. I'm gonna try to show it on the camera too, but I'm gonna show it to you first. I don't know if you could see it. If you can see it, it's Skip Bayless with the Jalen Hurts jersey and a
Cowboys hat.
I'm just gonna read what he says. And the Cowboys hat for the touch. He says, "I picked the Eagles to beat the Rams and to win the NFC again. I've never seen a defending champ get so dominated in the first half at home and bounce back to win quite the way the Eagles did today. Really showed hearts of a champion. Love, Skip. I added that part myself.
We'll end on that.
Go Birds.
I